Hello and welcome. Today, what I thought I would do is use a whiteboard to explain sort of the things that you may be feeling, the chaos in the world, some systems crumbling, and point out why you might be feeling that way and have a visual of old systems that are crumbling and what new systems will be built on. And the reason we're all feeling a little off, like we can't even put words into it, is because we're pretty much right here. And what I want to call the TSN turning point. So I'm going to go through some things that you might be feeling and some things on the old system that was built on and where I think that we're going. And right here, it's not going to be somebody that tells you which way you're going to go. It's going to end up being a choice point where you're going to have to decide which camp you're going in. My name is Jose Lindsay. This is Heartful, and we'll just go right into it. Okay, so I pre-wrote some of them out just so you don't have to watch me writing them all. But basically, we have an old system, and this is my observation based on the things that I'm observing. I've been studying self-development for many years, about 15 years. I'm also into spirituality. I know some of the woo-woo concepts as well of end of certain systems, astronomical alignments coming in play and all of that stuff, but I'm just going to keep it simple. These are things that I have come up with to explain what we might be feeling. So here are the first six that are set up under what I think is the old system. The old system was mostly under brain intelligence, where intelligence was revered, and everything came from how smart you are would determine your power and then how much money you make and the power that you would have in society. So under the old system that I think is going this way would be separation. We are all separate, living our own lives, and there's no connection between things. That's within systems, and it very much creates us versus them scenario. So you see that in everything. It's me, myself, and I. There's only a finite pie. If I take a piece, then that's less for somebody else to have, and vice versa. It's not an infinite game. It's separate. You versus me, and it's my survival. So I have to hoard everything to make sure that I am okay. Separate. The next concept, which most systems that are going to be falling apart very soon, is based on fear. When you have fear, it's also a power system of force. You take control by using a lot of fear. It's a forced power. It is controlling a population by scaring them into things. Like, you better go to school, you better get this job, you better follow all of the systems so that you can get a job, so that you can pay your bills. Which goes into, these two are connected. The next one is very much control. Control has a lot of manipulation. So the control and fear, they use fear to control you. So I used in a career path, they will use fear in religion to control you as well. The fear of God, the fear of something happening to you. You better do this or some evil thing will happen to you. So this starts at a very young age in school also, to fear authority, stay in line, do as I say, do these systems. You have to ask permission to go to the bathroom. You have to ask permission to go do all of whatever you want to do. You have no power, and the fear is used to control you. And when you use a lot of fear to control, this is where you get the manipulation. This is where you get the people who have power by force need to control you, and to keep the fear and the control, they must use messages and manipulation to get you to do what they want to do. The next factor that goes under here, so if you're under these systems, you need to use motivation. Motivation comes from the mind. Motivation requires a lot of effort. You need motivation to make yourself and go do it, go get it, and it requires a lot of effort. And The motivation is often an intellectual motivation, the motivation that you want to make a lot of money, that you need power. It's what you look like to the outside world. It's not necessarily following your heart. It's where the money is, where the power is. And you very much have to make yourself do the things by literally using sheer mind power and will to get what you want. This goes into the next one where it's motivation effort goes into outer approval. So the reason that you're doing motivation and effort and going after certain things is because you need outer approval. Approval doesn't come from within, it comes from without. It's what other people will think of you. So you need the car, you need the house, you need the job on Wall Street so that you can keep your approval in society, or you're going to do decisions based on your religion or that may have fear. Let's say if you're gay, you're going to try and do a straight life because you have the fear of God. You're going to follow all the rules in your company so that you keep your job to pay your bills. So outer approval. When you follow all of this and you have motivation, effort, outer approval, you fall into a lot of victim mentality that bad things are always happening to you. You are very powerless. You are at the mercy of the government. You're at the mercy of your company. You're at the mercy of everybody else. It creates many victims within this power structure. Now I'm going to wipe some of these away and make room for the next 6. Okay, so I wrote 6 more. So when you're under these systems, you have enslavement to systems because you have the victim mentality and that you think that you're trapped in these systems, so that you have to rely on the government, that you have to do that job, that you have to do all the things that they tell you to do, or else you're stuck. There's no other way of doing it. Enslavement to the systems. It also creates much inequality. The people at the top and the people that have forced and taken the power have much more of the money. They control the resources. And as you can see, over time and over the last generation or two, the rich are taking more and more of the share, and then the working class people are having less and less. And what's happening is that's what's causing a lot of this is, you can enslave people to your systems and have the working people as long as they're doing okay. As long as they can have shelter, they can feed their families, some can send their kids to school, you'll have people that cooperate in your systems. But what you're seeing today is because the top, the cream of the crop of the corporations, there's greed. They're taking more and more and more and more and more, and the workers are getting less and less and less and less. So when you see huge gaps like that, when your workers can no longer afford shelter, as you can see right now, you can't afford food, you're no longer sending your families to school, these systems are no longer working. Your worker will be willing to work for you if they get something in return. Not that to say that it's great to do a job that you don't like for a career, but one generation back from me, you could do your career. You lived well, only one of you had to work, and you had all of your basic needs were taken care of. Now with 2 people working, you're barely getting by. So this is a lot of why some of these systems are falling apart. And one big one is this inequality gap. It used to be, let's say here, of the people that control the systems and the people that work for the systems. Now this is getting out of control. So this is what you're seeing, and this was what is causing a lot of systems to not work, which will cause its demise as well. Another point to this old system is power and money at any cost. So this touches on everything, but cash is king, in the companies, it no longer matters your employees' health, wellness, that they can get by. You're not even looking at that. It's now shareholders traded on the stock market. And you have to get the percentage up of your company, 12%, 14%, 15% up every year. What does that mean? Freezing salaries, job cuts, no more benefits because they cost too much. Just a disregard completely to any humans working for you, of your employees. Also, just total carelessness of the planet. You will just extract all the resources. You see that a lot in the oil. You'll take it out of the sea. You'll have a lot of oil leaks. chopping down of the Amazon rainforest, which is the lungs of the planet, for palm oil to put in crap foods that have a bunch of palm oil in it. It's a total, total disregard. Not only that, but also just the top companies are completely poisoning the population, right? So the top companies that put garbage in the food where they know it's complete toxic sludge and causing cancer, but they don't care because by putting all crap and fake ingredients in it, their profits go up. So you have this inequality that I talked about, but this is getting far, far worse. This is getting also out of control. It's worse now than it used to be, which is again gonna cause the downfall. People are not okay with this, especially the new generation, like my kids and kids. So my kids are in their 20s and they're like, no way, we're not eating that crap, some of them, and especially the planet. Like, you're not tearing down the planet to just make money for your shareholders. The other thing is, when you're in this system, it's a time trap. So systems were set up for you right from the beginning, right from when you were in school. If you're awakening, you can see what the school system is. Has very little to do with educating your kids and having a mind of your own and critical thinking. It's for your kids to fall in line so that they will go with these systems. You must follow what I say, but also this time trap where you are trained to Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever it is. Breaks are timed as what the school says. And you are trained to only have 2 days off. And then if you want a job, you're in a time trap because you spend way more time working, right? So you have your 40 hours a week, and then you only have 2 days off. Your 2 days off, you're usually trying to recoup from the week you had at work or prepping for the next week. You have no time. You feel like you have no freedom, and you're always, always looking at the clock, which, by the way, the clock is just made up time as well. And you never have enough time. And you're in this vicious time trap where hour by hour, but also time in a month, you only have 2 weeks off in a 52 week, if you want to think about it that way too, like long-term time. What kind of system is it that in 52 weeks, you're going to work 50 out of 52. In a 7-day week, you're going to work 5 out of 2. In your full day, 8 are going to be at minimum at job plus an hour or 2 commuting each way. Like the time trap, okay? All of this is causing you to be feeling stuck. And I'm just going to put hamster here. You feel, this is what a lot of you are feeling. You're starting to awaken. You're like, what the hell is going on? Like, what am I even working for? I can't even afford a house. I'm at work all the time. I'm not seeing my family. I feel pressure all of the time. And for what? You're feeling that stuckness. You're feeling that you're on a hamster wheel. Like, you know, when a hamster's in his cage and they're running, they're going like full out running, but they're going nowhere. Okay. That's why I just left my last job. I had enough savings. I'm lucky enough. And I'm just taking a break and doing these things because I was working so much. At that last job, yes, it was sales, it was commission, and I could make okay money. No retirement anymore for a lot of companies. No benefits. And I'm paying rent. Some people at 50, if you bought your house a long time ago, you're okay. But people now, this is what's going on, and this is what's going to cause the downfall. You're now working all the time, caught in the system, and you feel trapped because you can't work anymore, but you can't get off the hamster wheel because it's not like you're paying a house that will eventually be paid off one day. You're renting and paying somebody else's mortgage. On top of that, a lot of the jobs have no benefits and no retirement. So when I look back from that, I just removed myself from this. Like, I'm working this for what? I can't get out of this system if I keep going. So as much as people are like, don't quit your job, don't quit your security. I'm like, security, there is no security. I'm not working towards anything and I'm on this hamster wheel. So to me, I took the risk of quitting and doing things like this and doing things that I love to see if I can make things like this instead of going to work for somebody else. But I'm going to talk about following your heart on that side. But right now, I want to explain to you what a lot of you are feeling. And again, these are my opinions. These are my observations. I did not get this from a textbook. These are just things that I'm feeling, observing, seeing. Okay. And this is where this is the biggest problem. All of this that I've talked about is causing you to be completely disconnected. And this is the big one, lost. Okay. And I think this is completely normal. Please don't feel like you're the only one. Like, why can't I fit in? Like, I'm doing all my best and it's just not making it work. It's because the system was completely rigged against you from the get-go. Let's be honest, okay? We've all been functioning in this and following all the rules, and we're getting now nowhere. And now you're doing all of this because you're getting nowhere. You're feeling terrible about yourself and you're feeling disconnected. It's almost like the system knows what it's doing and they want to keep us super distracted. So they're just giving us more and more to feel, it's like connect your phone. Here's Instagram, go on Facebook, go on TikTok, watch Netflix, do all of these things so that you completely forget what system that you're in. And by logging into Facebook, Instagram, Netflix, all of those things, because you're so friggin' tired and you don't have energy to do anything, you just flop in front of your device, you are extra disconnected. You will never feel connection in a phone. You think you're connected and you're just like, oh yeah, I just want to watch these funny things. It's causing you to be extra disconnected. Disconnected to what? Disconnected to yourself, disconnected from the truth, disconnected to like, what the hell is happening, so that you can look and do something different. And this is causing you to feel really lost. You are feeling lost because you have followed everything that everybody ever told you to do. You did all of the things and you're feeling all of this stuff and it's not feeling good. So this system leaves you with feelings like this. I don't know if you can read it. I'm just going to read it for you. It feels dark, like there's no light. It feels very heavy. And you feel a sense of powerlessness, like you feel like you're in these systems and you just can't get off, like that hamster wheel we talked about with that stuckness. And this system runs on fear, guilt, and shame. All of these systems have this sort of in the background. So this is what I've observed and the reasons why you might be feeling what you're feeling, and don't feel bad about it. You have been programmed to go into these systems. And because a lot of systems are built on corruption, deceiving people, and for all the wrong reasons that are not heart-centered, this is why I think in the new age, what we're coming up, the energies coming, I don't want to get too woo in this particular video. I can get woo. We'll just leave it at this type of information. This is where I think in the new age, this is going down. Again, you're going to have a choice point here, but we're going to go through the other side, and I'm going to let you know what getting out of this system might look like the polar opposite. Then we're going to go through the turning point and some things that can help you out. So I'm just going to pre-write them so you don't have to watch me write them again. Okay, so we've moved over on this side, on the heart side, where I think that we're moving. The new systems will be built on more of this approach. I apologize for the glare. This is super low tech with my light going right into the board, but I'm doing my best. Okay, so all the numbers will correlate to the other side, and it's sort of like the polar opposite. We're going here with a more heart-centered approach. The heart is where the true wisdom comes from, the intelligence, truth, authenticity, and all of that. And that's where I think we're going. As the saying goes, the longest journey you will ever take in your life is the journey from your brain to your heart. And this is what we're talking about. And I think this is where we're going to have major system change eventually, hopefully sooner than later. New systems based on unity. So the concept that we are all connected, we are all one, not to get too deep in the weeds, but we are really all one. We are all on this earth together. We're all earthlings, and the power comes into knowing that if you tap into the humanness, the good of another is good for yourself. Unity, all one. That leads into power. Power is, to me, in love, taking care of other people. That's where the power really comes from in a society, village, community, taking care of each other. And also the power from within, the empowerment that you are a powerful being able to be a creator in your own life. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But the sense that true power comes from within, comes from loving yourself, comes from loving others, comes from unity and taking care of each other, knowing that going all together is better than going solo. So really, it's the interest of the group, and you're only as good as your weakest link. So system based on this. Another aspect would be sovereignty, as opposed to where people are controlling you. You are a sovereign being. You don't necessarily need to know all of the rules and being told what to use, told what to think, told what to do by fear. When you use the heart and you're ignited and you're using the heart, intelligence, and wisdom, you just know what to do. You know not to hurt other people. It's like you are internally guided. You have internal rules that you just can't hurt another. You can't take money from another. You can't steal from another. You have internal sovereignty. So sovereignty is sort of an individual in the system, but the individual is more guided through heart-centered approach and not controlled by fear or governmental systems or company systems. Then, as opposed to going by motivation and pushing yourself with effort, we go into more of inspiration. Inspiration is inspirited. You are called to do something. You are using your intuition. There's a lot more ease and flow in this system. It doesn't mean that, some people talk about law of attraction. You just think of something and it appears. That's not what that means. It just means that when you're at a decision point, instead of using the brain of like, there's more cash in this, I'm more successful, people will, revere me more if I do this. No, you're tapping into the heart. You're following your own guidance and what feels good and feels bad. Inspiration, often when you tap in and you're at a decision point, you will know. Do you feel good and expanded? And that's usually for you, that's the right decision. Or does it make you feel yucky, gross, contracted? That's tuning in and using your own inspiration, using your own intuition, and you'll have a lot more flow and ease, and it's inspired action. You are still 100% taking action. There's no world we're going to live in where, you just think of something and it just appears out of the blue. You're going to be taking action, but it's inspired action. And when we talked about in the old system of outer approval, instead of having outer approval, it's very similar to what we just talked about. It's authenticity. Authenticity that's where you find truth. That is, instead of doing something because it'll look good, that is being true to who you are. You're following who you are despite what it might look like. Like, I do these videos and people who know me and my family might look at this and be like, what the hell are you doing? But this is what I want to do. This is my truth. I'm following my inspiration. I am being authentic, and that is my truth. So in your career paths and things like that, we don't even know what careers are going to be in 5 years. So you might as well follow your inspiration, your authenticity, your truth, what leads me to then, instead of being a victim, you are now being a creator. You are creating your life. You are creating your life the way you want to create it, as opposed to being a victim over here on the other side where you have no control of what's going on. Often in a victim mentality, you are just reacting to life like a knee-jerk reaction to life, and you're just a victim in systems that you can't control. You're always complaining about things. Victim is very, very, very much correlated to complaining and being a victim. Creator is having an awareness, like, I am creating my life. And I have a lot of videos on that, but like what you say, the actions that you take, you're being intentional on creating where you want to go. So For example, the systems that are falling out of place right now, there's a lot of attention on the systems that are broken right now. The financial system that's broken, the education system that's broken, the political systems that are broken. If you're looking in the US, all the attention is on the things that you don't want. So as you're moving here towards the heart-centered approach, it's putting way more focus into what you do want, knowing that your thoughts, what you say, how you're feeling, what you're putting out in the world very much affects the future outcome that you're going to have. Okay, so I'll write the next ones. And here are the last ones on the heart-centered approach in the new system that I think we're going towards is freedom, as opposed to what we had as enslavement to systems. There's a freedom that comes with when you have sovereignty, you're being authentic to your own truth, you're being a creator. You know that you have the freedom to be able to do the things that you want to do without asking permission, without being enslaved into certain systems. So that's the feeling that also comes with it, is freedom. So if we had inequality on the other side, we have more equality here. In a system with heart-based wisdom, compassion, and all of that, there's more equality because you have a lot of compassion you're feeling for other people. You want to create systems, whether it's banking, education, politics, or whatever new systems that we're going to have. You want it more to have an equal opportunity where all can thrive, because the problem with this system is that it enslaves certain countries, certain communities, certain races. It's hard to get them out of that, or that impoverished or powerless. It's going to take a lot of work and new systems and create new systems so that we can create more equality. And here, when we had on the other side, on the old system, power and money at any cost, here we have more of a reverence for life, a reverence for our humanity, a reverence for other people, our oneness, and a love for all creatures, all beings, all animals. You know, one day maybe we don't eat animals, but maybe in the interim, maybe we don't have to treat animals and put them through horrible abuses in the factory. We'll have just a more reverence for our humanity and other people. So reverence for life and all the beings on the planet. Here, when we talked about a time trap on the other side, we're talking about being in the moment, where I did a video about this already, but it's more of being in the now and not worrying about the past and the future so much. So when you're in the now, because you're being creative and you're in this space, it just leaves any possibility that can come, because you're not bringing the past with all your baggage into you, don't have the anxiety of the future. So in this kind of system, you're more moving moment to moment in the now. In this heart-centered approach and system, instead of feeling stuck and in a hamster wheel, this opens up a lot more opportunities. Infinite possibilities are ahead of you. You're not locked into a system where you know you're going to do this job for X amount of time and it's just linear and there's not much possibility. Your future is, you already know what the outcome is going to be. It's infinite possibilities, leaving yourself open to different outcomes. And then a system like this, basically the major difference is, instead of feeling disconnected and lost, you're going to feel connected, belonging. You're connected to yourself, you're connected to your community, you're connected to maybe something higher like the field. Some people call it God, some people call it the universe. It doesn't matter, but just like that feeling connected to not only yourself and other people, but connected to everything in the world, and everything is based on that. And when you're connected like that, and you're connected to the heart, you have a sense of knowing. To know something is a heart-centered approach. I have that sometimes, not all the time, but it's a full knowing to do something, knowing where to go, and knowing you belong. It's a knowing that comes from the heart-centered approach. So I don't want this video to start going into way too long. I'm just touching these systems very briefly without going into too many details on each one, just to show you what you're feeling. And under this system, I already talked about the feelings, but I'm just going to write them down for you. And under this system, the heart-centered approach, the feelings that are associated with that is feelings of love, feelings of light. Light in two ways, like it actually feels lighter. It's not like a burden and heavy, but you also feel sometimes it's like light hitting you, just feels light. You feel compassion, and ultimately you feel good, you feel joy, you feel peace and joy within the system much easier. So those are the feelings that are connected to this. Now, what I talked about before, I think we're here. You know, some of us are here, 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 but there's certainly systems that you can see that are based on these concepts. You can see that we're in a somewhat of financial bubbles. You can look at the markets, you can look at banking, you can look at schooling, you can look at hospitals, especially in the States, healthcare, where it's harder to get, benefits are going up, insurance don't pay their claims. Like you can just see that like they've had their moment and they've like squeezed out all the power by force that they can do, but it's probably going to end up doing this, and then we're going to create new systems going up here. In your personal life, this right here, this is what I talk about. This is the TSN turning point right here, okay? This is ultimately where you end up. Yes, some systems are going to follow these lines, but you personally in your life, if you look that you're here, it'll take an inner decision. It'll take what you think about, what you say, what you feel on a daily basis. This is just opening your eyes and putting some words into stuff that you're already feeling. I know a lot of you, you're going to look at this and like, oh yeah, she just put into words what I'm already feeling. Like you already know this. And it's going to depend on the T. Here's the T. It's going to be what you focus your time, energy, and attention. What are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on everything that's going down? Are you going to complain about the politics every day, complain about everything that's going on, saying, oh my gosh, and just stay in these systems? Where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your energy? Where are you spending your attention? So I understand some of you can't just quit your jobs and like you have responsibility. That's okay. But just have an awareness that if you're in the system completely and you're feeling some of these things, you're going to have to start pushing while you're in that system, start thinking more of things along this line. And if you want like a good start, I did a happiness series. There's no cost. I don't collect any emails or anything like that. It's just on YouTube. I'll put the link in the description. But there's concepts that will help you get there that are really easy. Concepts like gratitude, concepts, switching your thoughts, law of attraction, things like that. A lot of things that can help you. But basically, for now, if you want to just think of your time, energy, and attention, what you're going to focus on, how you feel, what you say, your words are spells, what you think you're creating. Remember that you're a creator. Just start thinking more and more of what you are doing to create this in your life, okay? The whole channel, I've just rebranded. I'm calling it Heartful. More and more videos are going to be all in this space, the power of the heart. And I'm going to talk about a lot of these concepts in depth. But for right now, it's just so you can see where we are. And further to that, for some of you, you would have heard this. But basically, this system, we're going into a little bit of a spirituality here, but basically this system is not necessarily learning new things, but remembering who you are. So in this spiritual circles, this is more of a concept of remembering who you are, taking your power back, that we all came here with power. If you think of yourself as a little kid, you thought you had the power, you just followed your joy. You thought you could be anything. You would be an astronaut or lead this company, or you would have an animal rescue, or whatever those things are. You came in knowing who you are. You came in with major dreams, major goals. And because of the systems that you were trained into, you went in here. There's also remembering of the soul, remembering of who you are, a spiritual being having a human experience, so we can go down in many layers of remembering. But basically, this is remembering. It's not necessarily teaching new concepts. It's always just remembering who you are and that power and that spark. It's in there. It's just to spark it to become who you are. This system is more, you were pushed into the system to forget and take your power away. Always remember that you are the most powerful force in your own life. You are the creator of your own life. Don't feel bad for feeling disconnected. Don't feel bad for feeling lost. We were entrapped in these systems for a very long time, and some of you are just starting to awaken now to this. This is where we're going. You're not going to jump from this system to this system, okay? I also created another video. I'll put it down in the links, okay? From here to here, you don't go feeling trapped on a hamster wheel, feeling like crap, and then you're here feeling out of your heart, everything's one, and you're in bliss, okay? I have been at this for 15 years, and the in-between is what I call the void, okay? It is not pretty going from this system to this system. First, you have to have an awareness of the systems that you're in, all the programming that you have. You have to unlearn all of this stuff that's been taught to you. You have to stay in the feelings of loss, and why are you feeling like that? And then, well, what is it that I do want to do? Which you're going to have a hard time remembering because you've been programmed for so long. This here is a whole process. You're not jumping into here. You're going to go through a void. You're going to go through, what do they call the dark night of the soul. You can have this void just in day-to-day life, and you can have that void in spiritual terms where you're awakening also to who you are, connected to source and all that. There's different layers of this, okay? So if you want to feel better about yourself, go watch my video about the void. I went through that for a long time, and I still am for a little bit. So it might not be pretty, and as you're going to see, as systems collapse on this, because there's corruption, dishonesty, and all of that, you're going to see some of the systems collapsing. It's not pretty as it collapses, okay? It doesn't jump and everything's happy and go lucky. Stuff crumbles, and what it means in your own life is some relationships, once you start really being honest with yourself, some relationships that you've stayed way too long or not treated well, some relationships fall apart. You may get fired from a job, you might quit a job, you might get another job. This in your personal life, a lot of stuff falls apart before it gets better. So if you're in the messy part, in the void, or there's just feeling so disconnected, I just wanted to bring that up. There's a void, and then there's all of this. Like I said, check out, to make yourself feel better, check out the void video down below. Check out my happiness series where you get some tips and tricks on things that you can do to sort of make yourself go more on this side. So I hope that was some clarity as to what you might be going through at this time. You are not the only one. I have been through all of this. I have been through this major, and I'm just on the other side, and I can totally relate. Thank you so much for listening. I've put the links down below, and I'm also going to put a meditation as soon as it's ready on the end screen. It should be ready in a couple days to help you just tune into your heart. That's the best thing that you can do is just start there, is just start tuning into your heart. It's going to be a short meditation that might help you out as well. So thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful. I am Jose. This is Heartful, and much love.